So we're going to move on to the next topic. We're going to move on to the next topic now. There's news that the staff of the NIA are currently on strike. If you have visited any of their district offices, regional offices, or any of the premium centers, you know that the offices have closed down. A lot of Ghanaians have gone there over the last 2 days for their Ghana cards and have found that the offices are not operating. So in a statement they released, they gave the reasons of their strike as follows. I'm going to summarize them. There are 4 reasons here. The government of Ghana, represented by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, the National Identification Authority, Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, and the Ministry of Finance and their collaborators have blatantly defied a pre-negotiation condition provided for in Section 2V of the Rules of Engagement. Section 2V of the Rules of Engagement mandates that the parties set timelines for negotiations. The requirement has not yet been fulfilled months after commencing the negotiation. Parties to the negotiations, and that's the unions, do not know when the next meeting will be called after the last meeting was adjourned indefinitely. Number 2, the government's teams undue delays in the negotiation process. Number 3, the government team's posturing and their reluctance in granting the NIA institution-specific allowances. And number 4, failure on the part of the management to implement the approved scheme of service for the NIA and their staff following the announcement of its approval in March 2024. That's this year on the 22nd day of March. There's a full statement. If we have more time, we'll probably project that for you. But while there have been many strike actions and threats of strike over the last few months, the NIA is an institution that we do not expect to go on strike, among other things, because they are issuing out the most important ID card that this government has constantly, may I say, bragged about. Because we now know that it's the most important ID card you can hold as a Ghanaian. Why would we sit down for the staff of the NIA to go on strike?
I think if you listen to them very well, I have listened to the NIA staff that their leadership that declared the strike. They said they were even about to really go on the strike on the 30th of March or so.
Yeah, in March.
And the Minister for Employment had to intervene and had really an engagement with them, and that is the reason they had to defer it to now. That is true, that we're not bragging about it, but there is a law in this country that says that the only primary document of identification should be the national identification card, and we have given about 17 million Ghanaians the Ghana card. Now, the challenge is that the one who was in Kumasi yesterday to check whether he can get the card, if he's accessing bank today, he cannot access the bank. That's how essential the work of the NIA staff is. So I am happy that it's not really a tango. It's not really a deadlock. They have started a negotiation with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Ministry of Finance. And for the first time, I'm hearing Fair Wages Commission calling on them to really go back to work and come for them to sit down and do the negotiations and so on. These are matters that are genuine concerns. When you check their grievances, the one that you have read, all these grievances are genuine. If you're working, your condition of service must really be intact so that it helps you, so that you are able to also execute your duties. So I am happy that Labour Commission is calling on them. Today, I am told that they will meet at the Labour Commission, Fair Wages Commission.
Today?
Yeah, today.
Okay.
Today at the Labour Commission office, so that at least they are. So I am expecting maybe by the end of the conversation today, they resume work so that Ghanaians will get this essential document.
Their biggest question or concern is the reason for the undue delay in the negotiation process.
Yes, you see, Fair Wages Commission that is supposed to answer this question is calling on them to go back so that they come on the table for negotiation. I have seen that they are saying it's Fair Wages that is delaying the process. They are supposed to lead so that they are able to clear it for controller and some and the Ministry of Finance to be able to really pay to them. So the Fair Wages Commission that is supposed to really give these answers is calling on them, has almost accepted that indeed they have delayed. So they are calling on them, go back. Labour Commission is also telling them, go back, start work as we continue the negotiation. This is really something not new. Mostly when workers agitate, they agitate for good reasons. We do not want it to end up in a strike that will affect majority of the Ghanaian, of the people who access the service there. So I am calling on them. I'm also joining to call on them to really
to come back to the negotiation table. All right, I have a message here from a staff of the NIA, yes. And she says the presidency must get down to the staff to hear firsthand the information from them. Prof. Atefua is micromanaging the NIA as his personal business. There's no management in the place. He has surrounded himself with stooges and runs the NIA his own way. It's Prof's way or no other way. He dismisses staff at will with unsubstantiated allegations. He has dismissed staff for even starting work early or staying back to work after closing hours. There's so much happening there.
I think these are not part of the concerns.
So yeah, these are not. This is from this is from a staff member. These are not part of the concerns.
Exactly. So the concerns. Let's deal with the concerns. The concerns are that come to the table. Let's have negotiation so that we,
exactly.
If you have any concern, you can still
allow me to read my messages. All right. So yes, like you rightly indicated, this is not one of the concerns. The concerns are really on conditions of service. So if you are a staff of the NIA and you want to reach out to us this morning, please feel free to do so. But let's stick to the issues raised in your statements, which are regarding your conditions of service. I'd appreciate those messages. Thank you so much, Philemon.
Yeah, I'd like to start by quoting something, if I paraphrase, and I'm unable to give the direct quote, but something Rawlings said. President Rawlings is reported to have said that he doesn't understand all these things about inflation and interest rate, exchange rate, but he understands, he feels it when there's hunger in your stomach. The people that work at the NIA are just a microcosm. They reflect the mood of the country. And don't be surprised if in the next few months, other labor unions start to agitate, because what the NIA staff feel is what the workers of this country have been feeling over the last 4, if not last 8 years. Because the economy of this country has deteriorated. If you talk about negotiation, you want to negotiate with a hungry man, a man who cannot feed, a man who cannot pay the fees of his children, a man who cannot afford to go to the hospital, and you want him to come sit down and negotiate with you, who has been given the largest of government, who have become so monumentally rich in the last 7 years, and you want them to come and sit with you to negotiate. Negotiate on what? What should they negotiate on? Because what they feel in their stomach is hunger. What they feel in their heads is disappointment at the government.
If not negotiate.
Stop it.
I'm only helping my brother.
No, don't do that.
MPP, your rep. That's your rep. Your rep is. But the fact of the matter is that the people of this country, the workers of NIA, feel the pain. They feel the scourge of the suffering of the failed economy. A staff of NIA, I have a friend that works at the NIA. He used to be paid 4,000 cedis. In 2016, his salary of 4,000 was worth more in dollars than it is today. Does the government factor in what they call cost of living allowances? They claim there's something called cost of living allowances, where they would adjust your salary, give you an allowance based on the deteriorating effect of the dollar and other major trading currencies on the cedi. Is the government doing that? Is the government doing that? So I think that in an economy where inflation has reached the highest ever in the history of this country, where exchange rate is so bad, 1 cedi to about $14, $1 to about 14 cedis, where interest rate, people cannot even borrow to do business. People are suffering the weight of the failed economy. That this economy has been declared junk. So if the economy has been declared junk, you can imagine the repercussions on the wages, the salaries, the cost of living of workers of this country. So I think that NIA is just reflecting the mood of this country, because teachers also are suffering, because nurses are suffering, because civil servants, their salaries cannot even take them 1 week. Even private agencies, private entities pay their workers, and because of how bad the cedi has become in relation to the dollar, their spending power has been weakened. Look at the recent cost of living, the prices of tomatoes, prices of onions, prices of yam. I bought a tuber of yam for 65 Ghana cedis, 1 tuber. 1 for 65. Tomatoes, 3 pieces for 30 cedis. 1 piece of tomatoes for 10 cedis. That's how bad the economy has become. So the citizens of this country are suffering because of the failed economy, and you tell them not to ask for an improvement. Has the president reduced his salary? Has the president said, because of how bad the economy is, I'll no more travel with a long retinue of aides? Has the president done that? Has the president chosen to cut down on his taste for foreign goods? Has he done that?
His taste for foreign goods?
The president, you know what the president eats.
I don't know what the president eats.
They import his food and other things from. But you see, the fact of the matter is that the fact will allow people.
Yeah, well, don't do that. But Philemon also, please, please speak to
Stop
things
lying.
you can prove.
I am proud, but that's a fact.
Please speak to things you can prove.
That is a fact. The point of the matter is that the people in government have not demonstrated any form of sympathy. They have not reflected. They are not feeling that the people are suffering, so they will also at least cut their own cost of living. They are still living in pomp and pageantry.